Hello and welcome to Traders Pro and to our YouTube channel. My name is Jesse Webb, and let me just explain briefly what Traders Pro is and how you can best utilize the YouTube channel. Traders Pro is a stock screening and analysis software that is designed to find and locate momentum style stocks and momentum growth style trades. And it's built around a top-down approach where we're looking for what's the market doing, what's the leading sector in that market direction, and then what are the leading stocks inside of that leading sector. So the entire site is designed to be that entire system. So we can quickly go through and look for leading stocks that are in leading industries and ideally in leading markets. It works in bear markets as well. But in this case, just a quick overview, just kind of a quick kind of a little tutorial here even is we're looking for long-term market conditions. So we've got a couple of indicators here that are looking for the overall direction of the market. Very simple, very basic to be able to know what direction the market is going. Is it either going up or is it going down? We've got some shorter term timing signals here as well that when we get into that, I can decipher what this is saying for you as well, but it's looking for three different factors. We look at sentiment, breadth, and momentum combined in this, and it does actually tell us something on here that you'll be able to fully understand. From there, what we focus on is we focus on one other breadth indicator that is a buy-sell ratio. So we're looking for several things to happen. Number one, are we above one? This green line's above one. My picture down here is covering the other line, but essentially we're looking for when red is above green, buy-sell ratio is less than 1. When green is above red, buy-sell ratio is greater than 1. Those are market conditions that we want to be able to participate in. From there, we look at the overall sectors. What sectors are leading? Currently, construction is leading, and inside that construction group, 82 stocks inside that group, and these leading stocks are continuing to move higher and higher and higher. So here we have several different settings that we can add a signal or a trend coloring to the overall pattern, and you can see MPTI construction stock in this last rally has had a massive run from the entire, from September moving higher. This entire group, these have been the leading stocks. Beazer Home, for example, moving off the low and then moving higher. I wonder if I can move this guy over here. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So we've got this uptrend taking place. What we would want to be focusing on, what's interesting is I can go back on the sectors as of November 11th, which is when this market trend actually started to turn. And I could say, what were the leading sectors then? Well, construction was leading. There was only 16 stocks at the time, but it was still leading going into that overall market trend. So from there, we could take a stock like Beazer and we could say, what's the early confirmation of that trend? So we're looking for two different things. We're looking for what are the market conditions, what are the leading sectors, and what are the best stocks to trade inside those leading sectors. It's as simple as that. And we can do the same with any indice. We can look for what are Dow stocks doing, what are NASDAQ stocks. So here you have the Dow Jones Industrials. Do I want to buy the Dow, the DIA, or do I want to buy the entire group through an ETF or a mutual fund or whatever? I may say, no, there's 19 stocks that are in there that are doing the best. Those are the ones that I want to focus on. And from there, I could even focus on the best ones, the leading ranked stocks of the Dow. So if I'm looking for the top 10 Dow stocks, and those are the only ones I want to focus on, then in how long did that take us? About, 30 seconds to be able to pull that up, look for what's leading, and look for what's lagging. Now, Microsoft, for example, we can see that it's had a massive run up in this overall trend. We have an extreme range where it'll move up into this extreme range and then it'll pull back inside of this buy zone. So we're looking for stocks that are in bullish market conditions, leading sectors, and that are inside of a buy zone. They'll move up to extreme, they'll pull back again. They'll move up to extreme, they'll pull back again. So we can trade that time frame. Our time frame is a position trade time frame where we typically will hold maybe 3 or 4 months. Although we have a lot of traders that like to use the screeners to find stocks that are getting ready to move that day or the next couple of days, and then they can choose whatever time frame they are focused on. So ideally, in what we're focusing on, we also want to be able to have stocks that are fundamentally sound and that are fundamentally growing. And so it will, it'll move those stocks to the top of the list. We can also filter that out with our screener. We have a very powerful screening tool that has got a lot of different criteria in here to be able to look for. And it's also custom to our signal. So we can say, I want to find a stock that has XYZ criteria, but I also want a signal change from hold to buy. So I could add as many fundamental data points in here as I would want to be able to apply to that analysis. There's predefined scans as well, several of them that just work really nice. You can come in with a few clicks of the mouse, look for leading stocks that are set up in good opportunities to be able to consider a trade at that point in time. So in terms of looking for, we also have a reversal pattern strategy as well. I won't get into that, but ideally, if you're looking for a tool to be able to look for the best stocks as they're moving at certain times, we have the muscle stock scan. These are predefined scans as well. So it pulls in the stocks that are starting to move, that have got new uptrend alerts. And for example, ELF, just this past pattern here, ELF has been a really high flyer. It's been moving up. It had a pretty deep retracement as it started to move back, but now it's starting to turn that corner and start to move back up. So ideally, we look for just a little bit of confirmation. So in this case, we wouldn't have bought here or here. We would have been waiting for a little bit of confirmation. Although, like I said, we use levels that are very sound core support resistance supply demand levels. So you pull those in. This is called a Fibonacci snap tool. It automatically snap to the high and low of the trend on that time frame, and it can help you look for those leading stocks, those stocks that are starting to move. We only want to focus on stocks that are working, that are moving up, and that have, and ideally positive fundamentals here. So I could say, I've got several predefined scans here. This is a 10-10-10 scan that I call it 10-10-10 because every one of the criteria on this in the scan were 10 or higher. Annual EPS had to be 10 or higher. Last quarter EPS 182, sales growth is 11. So I can sort that out. And those are the three growth component fundamentals primarily that we're looking for: annual EPS, last quarter EPS, and sales growth. That's the rocket fuel. Okay. That's the jet fuel that comes into a company, or sales and earnings. And ultimately, a stock is the present value of the future earnings of the company. We know that, but we also know that markets decide what that present value is. That it's going to have an actual nominal value, but markets, and it may look like this, but markets are going to say, okay, we think it's going to do this. And they're like, oh no, earnings, it missed, or earnings surprise, it pulls back, it overshoots. Oh, then they report and they do better. Market does this, market does this. So ultimately a stock has got to be making money and moving higher. And those are the kind of stocks that we're looking for. We want to find a stock just like ANF in the last year that's gone from $29, $30 straight up to $60. And when it stops working, we get rid of it. We rotate into something else that's working, because the scans are always looking for the leading stocks. They're always looking for the stocks in leading sectors. And we've got multiple ways to be able to analyze that. But in essence, that's really what we're looking for. So if you're looking for a quick way, if you sometimes get frustrated I'm using this scanner, but I don't know what settings to use, or I don't know what I'm actually trying to set up on this individual stock, or I don't even know what stocks I'm looking for. And then you're searching all over and you're trying to find that. This is going to create a fixed location for you to be able to look for stocks, leading stocks that are momentum stocks that are moving higher. The path of least resistance in most cases for these kind of stocks is higher. In theory, a stock's price could go up forever, right? It can go up when you run a scan on your brokerage account and it says profit unlimited, right? It's theoretically a stock could go up forever, because in theory, their growth can go forever. We know that doesn't happen. We know that it ebbs and flows. We know that product cycles change. We know that companies change every 20 years. There's going to be a new batch of stocks that are leading. We want to be able to focus on those stocks that are working in that market environment. We may only know Walmart or Costco and say, I don't know any other stocks, so I'm going to just trade those stocks. If that's the case, you can utilize this tool to look for some of these stocks. We've got it so that it's got a specific signal, and then we also have a couple of settings to be able to utilize for stop management, adjusting, how to adjust those. It's a very automated, very fixed process. that I really think that you're going to enjoy. Utilize the YouTube channel to get to know us and get familiar with the analysis. My updates a lot of times are boring. I'm trying to get better and better at my YouTube presence. So appreciate the any feedback that you've got on the videos and the presentation. And I don't always have my face out there just because it's sometimes it's early morning and I got to throw a beanie on, or you know how that is. So, but I want this YouTube channel really I want to be able to engage with you and help you in understanding this methodology. There are lots of methodologies, lots of ways to be able to analyze different stocks. And we're one of them. Okay. I'm not going to say it's the best or the worst, but it certainly is a methodology that works and finds the best stocks at the best time. And actually has a very cool portfolio building process. I use what's called a muscle wheel portfolio building process to be able to add into portfolios with a certain scan that we can create. For example, we could create a scan like I just showed you, that 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or whatever the criteria I want, add some dividends on that. Now I'm adding momentum and I'm adding location to those fundamentals as well. So it's ideally we're getting the best of both worlds, where we're adding into fundamentally strong stocks that are growing, and maybe they're growing fast. ELF, for example, I've never heard of this stock until it was just started taking off and moving really well. My daughter was telling me, "Hey, Dad, can we go to Target to buy this eyeliner, this makeup?" And she bought it, and I saw the brand was ELF. I'm like, I know that stock. And a TikToker had been promoting this cosmetic product, and the stock was becoming wildly profitable as it was moving higher. I wonder if I still have that back up. Let's go back to that. So the earnings started to break down a little bit back here. But during this run, that was a really nice run, and it just kept floating to the top, was always in the scans, just about every day. It was a leader in that overall uptrend. That's what we want to find. That's what we want to trade. This next bull cycle is going to be a different group. The next bull cycle is going to be a different group after that. So it's always rotating. We're looking for the fastest growing companies with the best price patterns, and we're only trading them on the way up. Or once they've found enough support here to get through this mess. We don't want to deal with this mess. We only want to now play the game, and as it's going to continue, or if it does continue higher from here, that's what we want to participate in, so that we're very fine-tuned, we're very honed on what we're focusing on. So welcome to the channel. It's a little bit long-winded, but I appreciate you being here, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment on any of the videos, like and share if you find value in the content, and we look forward to having you.